Hi, this is Justin from Kind LED Grow Lights, and today I'm going to walk you through the functions of the K5 series remote control operation. First, make sure that your Kind K5 series light is plugged in and that the green switch is turned to the on position. Then you'll be ready to use the remote. The power button at the top left corner of the remote is an easy way to power your Kind K5 series grow light on or off. Now we're going to set the clock with the time temp button at the top left corner of the remote under the power button. The time temp button switches between the time setting, the temperature reading, which is not adjustable, and the regular automatic functioning screen of the light. If I push the button once, it shows the time in 24-hour time, also known as military time. That's 2023. That means that the clock is set to 8:23 p.m. If I push the button again, it shows the reading of operating temperature, which is now showing 42.6 degrees Celsius operating temperature. We'll go back to the clock. You press the time button to reach the time settings and also to view what the current time is. Use the left-right buttons to adjust the hour and the up-down buttons to adjust the minutes. Here we see 14:21, which means 2:21 p.m. Press the OK button to save all the changes that you've made. It's absolutely essential to press the OK button to save the changes that you've made. Adjusting the intensity of the Kind LED K5 series lights can be done in several ways. The first is using the 6 buttons on the bottom of the remote, which are labeled A+, A-, B+, B-, and C+, C-. Here I'll adjust the A spectrum diodes, the reds, up 15% to 25%. Now I'll adjust the B spectrum, the same, and now the C's. Another way your diodes can be adjusted in intensity is using the +10, -10 buttons just above the directional arrow keys on the remote. If I press the +10 button, it's going to raise all 3 sets of diodes 10%. Using the left and right buttons, I can go switch the sets of diodes, and you can see that they're all at 55. Now I'll push the +10 button. Now all 3 sets are at 65. Another way to adjust the diodes is simply using the up and down arrow directional keys. Up to 70, over to the A's, up to 75, over to the B's, up to 80, and press OK to save the changes. What I'm going to show you now is the method that I use and what we strongly recommend you do before setting the timers on your Kind K5 series light. When you're drawing up a complex schedule, you're going to need some point of reference so you don't get confused in the middle. What we start with is a box which has 3 columns, A, B, and C. A, B, and C are the 3 sets of diodes on the light. Then we have 8 different timer points. Our first stage is going to be at 7:30 a.m. and our fully on stage is at 0800. Then we're going to have the light turn off or go to 50% at 7:30 p.m., which is 1930 in 24-hour time, and then all the way off at 8 p.m., 20 o'clock, 2000 hours. And then we're going to have the diodes turn on to 50, then 100, and then down to 50 at 7:30 p.m. and then all the way off at 8 p.m. at night. I then indicate that the timers are on, and then the rest of the timers don't matter. Now we have working instructions for what we're going to do with our timer. It makes sense visually, and when we're inputting it, we can go in a linear fashion and input the timing functions correctly. Setting the timer on the Kind K5 series grow light takes some practice, but after a while it will be quite clear how to use it. All 3 sets of diodes are currently set to 10%. I push the timer button and it shows me A1 on. Using the right directional arrow, I can toggle this timing function from on to off. To function, the timer must be set to on. If it's set to off, it will not do anything. I'm going to push OK, and now I see 000, which means that it wants me to input the time. Using the right directional arrow, I can adjust the hours, and I'm going to set it to 7:30 using the up directional arrow to adjust the minutes. We set it to 7:30 and push OK, and now because it's an A timer, it's controlling the A set of diodes, or the reds, and I'm going to set this to 50% intensity using the up directional arrow and push the OK button to save the changes. Now I push the timer button again, push the left directional arrow to B timer, so this is now B1. It says off, so I'm going to turn that to on, pressing the right directional arrow, and then OK. Now it asks me for a time. Using the right directional arrow, I can adjust the hours, and I'm going to set it to 7:30 using the up directional arrow to adjust the minutes, and then push the OK button, and now set this to 50% intensity using the up directional arrow and push the OK button to save the changes. Now I push the timer button again, push the left directional arrow to go into the C1 timer, and then turn it to on using the right directional arrow and then the OK button. Now I enter. Using the right directional arrow, I can adjust the hours, and I'm going to set it to 7:30 using the up directional arrow to adjust the minutes. And then I push the OK button and take the diodes to 50% intensity using the up directional arrow. We're now programming the C diodes to turn on at 7:30 in the morning at 50% and push the OK button to save the changes. What we've just done right now is create a timer stage for the A, B, and C diodes to turn on at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. Now we're going to create a timer function that is going to bring all three sets of diodes up to 100% intensity a half hour after we just set the timer for 7:30 in the morning. Press the timer button. It shows A1. I'm going to press the up directional arrow to go to A2 timer, which I'm now going to turn on using the right directional arrow. Now I push the OK button, and it prompts me for the time setting, pushing the right directional arrow to take it to 8 o'clock a.m., 30 minutes after our light turned on at 50%. I press OK, and then I set the diodes to 100% using the +10 button to save time. All the way up, and press OK to save the changes. I press timer. It says A2 on, good. I'm going to press the left directional arrow to go to the B timer, and I'm going to press the right directional arrow to turn that timer on. Now I'm going to push OK and enter the time of day using the right directional arrow to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 a.m. 0800 hours is 8 o'clock a.m. Push OK and bring the diodes up to 100% using the +10 button to save time. Press OK to save the changes. I'm going to press the timer button. I'm going to press the left directional arrow to go to the C stage, and I'm going to turn this on using the right directional arrow. Now I press OK. I'm going to set this to 8 o'clock using the right directional arrow for the hour control, and then press OK, and then bring the diodes all the way up to 100% using the +10 button. Press OK to save the changes. Now we're going to use the timer to program the sunset function of our K5 series grow light. We're going to use the timers 7 and 8 to turn the light off at the end of the day. I push the timer button. I use the left directional arrow to run through the sets of diodes and go to A, then the up down arrows to choose which timer, and this is going to be A7. I change it to on with the right directional arrow. I press OK. I set the time of day, which we're going to set to 7:30 p.m. so that's 1930 in military or 24-hour time. To set the clock, I push the left arrow to adjust the hours to 1900 hours, which is 7, and then use the up-down arrows to adjust the minutes to 1930 or 7:30 p.m. I press OK to save the changes, and I adjust the strength of the diodes using the -10 button or the +10 button just to save time to 50%. I press OK to save the changes. Now I do the same with the B series diodes. I press timer. I want to set it to the B using the left directional arrow. Then the right directional arrow turns the timer on. then I press OK. Then I set the time using the left directional arrow for the hours and the up directional arrow for the minutes, and press OK. Now I adjust the strength of the diodes using the +10 button for 50% and press OK to save the changes. Now I press the timer, I press left to go to the C diodes, I press right directional arrow to turn the timer on, then OK. Then I push the timer button, I press the left directional arrow to take it to 1900 hours, then the up arrow to go to 30. So this is 7:30 p.m. or 1930. I press OK. I take the diodes up to 50 using the +10 button. I press OK to save the changes. Now we've created a function that the light is going to dim, or we should just say change, to 50% intensity at 7:30 p.m. at night. The final setting on your kind LED grow light is going to be to set the timers to take the diodes all the way to 0. This is the way to power down the light and still have all the timers functional. If you use the power button, the timers won't turn the light back on. So I press the timer button, I go to stage A8 using the left directional arrow and then the up directional arrow to take it to the 8. Now the right directional arrow to turn the timer on. I press OK. I set the time using the left directional arrow to 20 o'clock or 8 p.m. in 24-hour time. And I press OK, and then I press OK again to save that the diodes are now set to 0, 0, 0. I press to set the B diodes now, the blues. I'm going to press timer. Then the left directional arrow will take me into the B8 timer. I press the right directional arrow to turn the timer on, then the OK button. Then I set the clock to 2000 hours, which is 8 p.m. I press OK, and I'm just going to press OK again to save because the diodes are there at 0, as you can see. Then I press timer. I press the left directional arrow to go to the C8, which is off. I'm going to push the right directional button to set the timer to on, then OK, then use the left directional arrow to adjust the clock to 2000 hours, 8 p.m., then push OK, and then I'm going to push OK to save again. Now we've created a function of our kind LED grow light where all 3 sets of diodes are going to turn to 0 power or off at 8 p.m., 2000 hours every day. The last thing we're going to go through is how to double check that your timers are all set the way that you want them. With your log sheet in front of you that has your instructions, you can enter timer mode. Now it's showing A1 is on. I'm going to press the up button and go timer A2, which is on, just the way that I want it. A3 through 6 should be off. I use the up arrow. A3, A4, A5, and A6 are all off. And now A7 and 8 should be on. A7 is on, A8 is on. At any time, I can press the OK button and double check that the timer is set correctly. A8 should be set to 2000 hours at 0 intensity. 2000 hours, I push the OK button, and now I push the OK button again. 0 intensity, I push the OK button one more time, it takes me back to the regular stage. Now I push the timer button again, and I'll check the A7 by pressing the down arrow. OK, 7:30 p.m. OK, 50% intensity, correct. Now I press the timer button. I go to the B timers by pressing the left button, and now I'm going to start at B1. I push OK. It says 7:30 a.m., correct. It should say 50% intensity when I push the OK button. 50% intensity. OK, save. Timer, up arrow, B2, OK, is set to 0, 0, 0. Oh, see, that's not correct. This one should be set to 0, 30 hours and 50% intensity. So we're going to go ahead and set that one by pushing the right arrow to 7 and then up to 7:30. It's a good thing we double checked. We had missed something. This should be set to 100%. Okay. Now we've double checked all our timers. We found a couple mistakes. We fixed them. Now we're sure that it's set correctly. Auto run mode. This is a pre-configured 8-stage timing cycle. It has 4 hours of dark time and 18 hours of time when light is coming out of it. So this is considered a veg stage function, ready to go out of the package. All you do to enter auto run mode is push mode, and you will see on your light that it changes to a time reading. 1520 is the time currently set right now. That's 3:20 p.m. You won't be able to use any of the other functions of the remote during auto run mode. So to exit auto run mode, push the mode button again, and you should see the power intensity readout on the side of the light, meaning that you're in automatic mode. Thanks for checking us out. For more information, visit us on the web or call us at the office.